Hello, I'm Richard Caldwell, and your host to Fit Over 50's Journey. If you're watching this live, then hashtag live. If you're watching it on the replay, then hashtag replay. Fit Over 50's is about lifestyle, not just health. Your entire life should be fit. We live in a time when our health, our income, and our entire way of life is being threatened. We need to take control and create a fit lifestyle for ourselves and for our environment. The best way to create a fit lifestyle is through nature, organic foods, and medicines. Big business and big pharma have funded laws which have benefited them but hurt the people. If you have any questions or comments, then leave them down below, and I will get to you. I will get to them. I will answer whatever questions you have. Let's take a look at the changes that have taken place in the last century, about the last 130 years.
In 1619, America's first marijuana law was enacted at Jamestown Colony, Virginia, ordering all farmers to grow hemp seed. More mandatory hemp cultivation laws were enacted in Massachusetts in 1631, in Connecticut in 1632, and in the Chesapeake colonies into the mid-1700s. Even in England, the much sought-after prize of full British citizenship was bestowed by a decree of the Crown on foreigners who would grow cannabis, and fines were often levied against those who refused. Cannabis was legal tender in most of the Americas from 1631 until the early 1800s. Why? To encourage American farmers to grow more. You could pay your taxes with hemp throughout America for over 200 years. You could even be jailed in America for not growing cannabis during several periods of shortage. Benjamin Franklin started one of America's first paper mills with cannabis. This allowed America to have a free colonial press without having to beg or justify the need for paper and books from England. George Washington and Thomas Jefferson grew cannabis on their plantations. Jefferson, while envoy to France, went to great expense and even considerable risk to himself and his secret agents to get good hemp seeds smuggled illegally into Turkey from China. The Chinese political rulers so valued their hemp seed that they made its exportation a capital offense. The United States Census of 1850 counted 8,327 hemp plantations that were all a minimum of 2,000-acre farms, growing cannabis for cloth, canvas, and even cordage for baling cotton. Most of these plantations were located in the South, primarily because of cheap slave labor available prior to 1865 for the labor-intense hemp industry. This figure does not include the tens of thousands of smaller farms growing cannabis. Various marijuana and hashish extracts were the first, second, and third most prescribed medicines in the United States from 1842 until the 1890s. Its medicinal use continued legally throughout the 1930s. Cannabis extract medicines were produced by Eli Lilly, Parker Davis, Tildens, Brothers Smith, Squibb, and many other American and European companies. During all this time, there was not one reported death from cannabis extract medicines, and virtually no abuse or mental disorders reported, except for the first-time or novice users occasionally becoming disoriented or overly introverted. The earliest known woven fabric was apparently of hemp, which began to be worked in the 18th millennium. For more than 1,000 years before the time of Christ, until 1883, cannabis was our largest agricultural crop and most important industry, involving thousands of products and enterprises, producing the overall majority of Earth's fiber, fabric, lighting oil, paper, incense, and medicines. It was a primary source of essential food oil and protein.
Hemp oil. There is so much buzz right now around these little bottles of oil tinctures. You hear about hemp in just about every form of media these days, from the news to articles circulating on social media to Senate bills being passed, and even on TV shows. Hemp seems to be all anyone is talking about. So what's the big deal? Well, here's what you need to know about hemp. First, it is a powerful antioxidant. In fact, hemp oil contains more antioxidants than most whole fruits and vegetables, as well as several key minerals and vitamins like D and E, as well as fatty acids. Second, hemp is amazing in terms of sustainability because of the short time it takes to grow. Where a tree can take many years to mature, hemp only takes approximately 4 months from plant to harvest. Hemp has many other uses other than just nutritional benefits. In fact, did you know that the first 2 drafts of the Declaration of Independence were written on paper made from hemp? Its fibers have a wide variety of applications, from paper to plastic, fuel, clothing, and rope. So, if we have known about all the uses of hemp for so long, why does it seem to be the next big thing right now? Well, here's a small history lesson for you. In the 1700s, farmers in Virginia, Connecticut, and Massachusetts were required by law to grow hemp, and in some colonies, failure to grow hemp could actually lead to jail time. In the early 1800s, during the agricultural age of our nation, hemp could actually be used to legal tender to pay taxes with. Then around the 1930s, with the industrial age taking off, suddenly hemp was made illegal and villainized with a lot of racial and gender-related propaganda. Gross. This was all largely due to the paper industry running scared because hemp was so much more cost-effective than paper. It's just recently, with the discovery of how vital the cannabinoids found in hemp are to our overall health, that people have begun to rediscover all the phenomenal benefits of this amazing plant. There are tons of phytocannabinoids, bioflavonoids, and terpenes that are found naturally in the hemp plant. These compounds, when combined, create a synergistic effect to produce a greater response than any of them can create individually. So how exactly does hemp oil work inside our bodies? Every mammal has what is called an endocannabinoid system. This is a lipid-derived signaling system that was discovered in the 1990s. As it turns out, hemp is full of the phytocannabinoids that activate these receptors. This system is responsible for memory networks in the brain. Hemp is part of the cannabis plant family. Now, the 2 strains that make up this family are marijuana and hemp. So while they may have many similarities, they also have some distinctive differences that are important to know. Both are high in cannabinoids, and these little molecules bind to receptors in our bodies. However, their phytocannabinoid compound levels are not the same. Hemp is high in cannabinoids like CBD, CBG, and CBC, where marijuana is high in THC, which is responsible for the high feeling you get. Hemp is quite low in THC, under 0.3%, which means you won't get the same psychoactive effects as you would with marijuana. This makes hemp ideal for getting the phytocannabinoids our bodies need without the psychotropic effects. Cannabinoids, like those found naturally in hemp, are homeostatic regulators, and they circulate through our bodies continuously. Cannabinoids bind to the CB1 and CB2 receptors, either directly or indirectly. Cannabinoid receptors CB1 and CB2 facilitate the responses inside the body, which are critical to maintaining homeostasis. CB1 receptors are excitatory and can be primarily found in the lungs, kidneys, central nervous system, and liver. CB2 receptors are located in the circulatory and immune systems. So why does this all matter? The signaling systems help your body communicate better with all its different parts. This helps support your body's overall health and general well-being.
So wow, that's a lot of information. I mean, some people know this, but a large majority of people don't know this. That is huge. You know, how we were manipulated. And I mean, there's a lot more to it on exactly what happened. That's like the really, really short version of what happened. But as well, there's more information. It didn't stop there, right? So anyway, when hemp was in full swing, we still had problems producing enough, right? And now we're back into it, and we're just learning about hemp and CBD, and there's another one, CBDa, most people don't know about, but it's there, and we'll talk, not in this show, but in other shows we'll talk about it. But it's huge. You know, it has huge benefits to not only people and animals, but to the environment. And the amount of products and stuff that we can create with it can take the place of, it can take over the paper industry, it can take over the medical industry, it can take over so many things. It can create a better environment for the world, and a better environment for us, for our physical, mental, social, everything, our entire bodies, our entire worlds around each of us. And so many people don't know that. But let's look at something else. The number one cause of death, at least in the United States, is heart disease. So let's take a look at that, and let's see what has went on with that. Okay? So right here, the CDC. Heart disease in the United States. Heart disease is the leading cause of death for men, women, and people of most racial and ethnical groups in the United States. One person dies every 36 seconds. About 655,000 Americans die from heart disease each year. And right down here, every year about 805,000 Americans have a heart attack. Of these, 605,000 are a first heart attack. So that is huge. I mean, it's a growing thing, right? But what causes this heart disease? What is causing this? Well, let's go back to the 1960s. In the 1960s, research was being done on heart disease. And long story short, it came out. Long story short, the sugar industry paid off researchers to come up with an alternate conclusion that cholesterol and fat caused heart disease, when in fact that was a lie. The added sugar in foods cause heart disease. BS, you say? Well, let's take a look and see.
An alarming new report shows that the sugar industry sweetened the truth, suppressing the health risks of sugar. The Journal of the American Medical Association reveals that scientists were paid in the 1960s to play down the link between sugar and heart disease and instead make saturated fat the culprit. The research focuses on a 1967 article published in the New England Journal of Medicine, which concluded there was no doubt that reducing cholesterol and saturated fat was the only dietary intervention needed to prevent heart disease.
The great cholesterol myth, we welcome cardiologist Dr. Steven Sinatra and nutritionist Johnny Bowden to the show. Welcome to both of you. So let's talk about this idea of what you're calling the cholesterol myth, and we can have a little back and forth here, because you are mainly trying to say that we're eating too much sugar.
Correct. See, that's the problem. I mean, everybody focuses on cholesterol with heart disease. Look, cholesterol is found at the scene of the crime, but it's not the perpetrator. Sugar is the villain in heart disease. That causes heart disease, not cholesterol.
At one point, there were two competing theories about what really caused heart disease. One was that it was fat and cholesterol. The other was that it was sugar. The wrong theory won. It was never fat and cholesterol. They're pretty minor players in heart disease. Sugar, on the other hand, as you mentioned, raises insulin resistance, increases the risk of diabetes, and when you have all those fat cells, they send out inflammatory compounds, which create more damage in the vascular walls, which really precipitate plaque and heart disease. It's been sugar all along, not fat.
So that's crazy, right? I mean, we've been being lied to for decades, for a century. Big business, big pharma, it's all been about money. Not taking care of the people, not taking care of the public, not helping people. It's all been about money, regardless of the cost. At your health, the cost of your health, the cost of my health, the cost of everybody's health. And it's time to get the information out. In this show, what we aim to do is get the information out. Get the information out on how you can have a better life, how you can have a fit life, a fit lifestyle. So first of all is better eating, right? Getting away from sugar. That doesn't mean that you have to give up sugar altogether. It's very addictive. And in later shows, we'll go over some of the stuff with it. It's very addictive. But there are things that you can take. There are ways that you can get away from it. All right? And again, not completely get away from it. There are good sugars. There are good sugars. What you're looking for in food is added sugar. Anything that has added sugar is going to be bad for you. And the more you eat, the worse it's going to be, right? So if you eat just a little bit of it over a long period of time, it's not going to affect you, once in a while. Most people don't. Most people eat tons and tons and tons of added sugar, and they don't know it. They're not going and grabbing the sugar container and just shoving it in their mouth. Added sugars are found in almost every processed food out there. They put it in there for taste. They put it in there as a preservative. They put it in there for many, many reasons. So if you look on the back of your food containers under nutrients, it will tell you total sugars and added sugars. Anything with added sugars, the added sugar is bad for you. Okay? And we'll go into that more in other episodes in the future. But for now, that's what you need to know. And so far as cardiovascular disease and heart disease, many of us have had problems. As we get older, it happens, and then we're put on drugs because Big Pharma tells us that is the answer. And it's not the answer. Hemp and CBD and CBDa are providing answers, and we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go before we completely understand or even start to even have an idea of what all it does. But with the research that's done and testimonials that have been seen, it has helped human health, animal health too, but human health in so many ways. It's unbelievable. It has gotten people off of drugs. It has decreased pain. It decreases inflammation. Specifically, CBDa does. It blocks it. So it helps in so many ways, and we're not even partway through it. Now, I do want to say I'm not a health professional, and you need to speak to your doctor. I got to do this for legal reasons, okay? Anyway, tell me what you think below. Tell me what you think. Put in the comments what your opinion is on this. Have you ever taken CBD? Do you ever plan on it? What are your thoughts on CBD and hemp and cannabis? Or do you even know anything about it? Is this brand new to you? Let me know. Tell me in the comments. Hemp has the ability to change our world. Hemp has the ability to change your life and my life. We have the ability to create a fit lifestyle, health-wise, mentally, socially, environmentally, all of it. Wealth-wise, your income, the hemp industry is huge, and we are only touching the tip of it. We're only touching the tip of the hemp industry and what it will do and how it can change our lives. Now, on a global scale, it's not going to change the world overnight. But the more we push, the more we learn, and the more we teach others, the greater this is going to become, the better our lives are going to be, the more people we can help, right? If you want to know more about this, then you can contact me through the link. If you want to know more about how it can help you health-wise, if you want to know more about how it can help you monetarily, create a better lifestyle, then contact me and set up an appointment and we can talk about it. Okay, so what can you do? What can you do right now to get in better health? Well, first of all, start cutting out sugar. You know, what you're looking for actually is added sugar. So fruit and stuff, natural sugars are good for you. But anything with added sugar, and if you look on the nutrients label on the back of your foods and stuff, it will tell you total sugar and added sugar. Added sugar is what you need to be cutting down on. And we'll be talking more about that, but just be conscious of the amount of sugar you're eating and start looking to cut down on that. If you want more information on that, then you can schedule an appointment with me. Just click on the link and you can schedule an appointment. As well, CBD is huge. CBD and CBDa is huge in the health industry and it's growing. What is known about it is, honestly minimal. There are tons and tons of testimonials about people having excellent results in all different areas of their life. So I would recommend that you do some research on that. I would recommend that you look at different brands. And remember this, not all CBD is equal. Not at all. So you need to really know your facts on any CBD that you use. There is so much out there. It's growing so fast. There are people putting out stuff that, really isn't that great. It doesn't have what they say it has, and it doesn't do what it says it does. There are others out there that are absolutely excellent. If you want more information on this, if you want to know more about how you can get a hold of a really high quality CBD or CBDa, click the link and create an appointment, schedule a time, and we can talk. We can discuss it. As well, you can join the Facebook group, The Healthy Jurni, Jurni. Again, The Healthy Jurni, Jurni. Facebook group, The Healthy Jurni, Jurni. You can join that Facebook group and get more information on what's going on. Connect with me there as well. So, and don't miss next week. You can catch us at jurni.tv/fitover50, where we're going to be interviewing fitness coach Andrew Paletti and talking about health, food, and exercise. Until next week, y'all be safe, stay healthy. Be sure to go check out that group, The Health Jurni, Jurni, and don't miss next week's episode. You're going to absolutely love it. Andrew Paletti is a great health coach with lots of information. I'll see y'all later.